Okay guys, we back. Welcome back. My name is Eric. We back with another video, and today we're going to be doing part 2 of reacting to ZackDFilms. So, a couple things I'd like to mention before we begin is, first, I was supposed to make the Forsaken video, also the Piggy Book 2 full gameplay video on March 4th yesterday, but unfortunately I couldn't find the time to do it, and I will try to do it next week, or I will do it on this weekend. Also, the video where I try to get the 3 Vegiteers skin and then play as it in Piggy and test it out, that'll also be on the weekend. And the new game I'm gonna be playing, it'll be released tomorrow. I'm not gonna spoil it, so hang tight, and I'll make sure it does come out. But anyways, we're doing part 2 reacting to ZackDFilms. The last time I reacted to him was in like November, and now in March we're back to reacting to ZackDFilms. ZackDFilms is a YouTube animator who makes content focused on science and history, and it's interesting and entertaining content. So without further ado, let's begin. Okay guys, the first ZackDFilms video we're reacting to for part 2 of reacting to ZackDFilms is the 13-year-old who saved 17 lives in a hurricane. Anyways, without further ado, let's begin reacting to the video.
Dove in, knowing alligators and snakes were swimming below him, but...
Alright, so already off the title, I can just tell that the fact that alligators and snakes swam below him, it just sounds very bad. Because I feel like at the end he's gonna get like hurt by an alligator or snake, but let's just see.
He had to do this. You see, he had been playing video games when a hurricane...
Yeah, it's like me. I play video games whenever there's like a snowstorm or blizzard outside, or whenever there's things like big rain. I don't know why. It's just that gaming is so fun, and that's why you should game too.
Hit. Water rushed in so fast that families were trapped inside their homes. So the boy grabbed an air mattress and loaded people onto it, dragging
W to the 13-year-old boy.
Them to safety. Then he heard screaming across the street. He swam over and
yeah, that 13-year-old boy, he kind of looks like me. The only difference, I'm younger.
Rescued an elderly woman, her grandson, and their dog. After 2 hours, the mattress finally burst, but by then, he had saved 17 lives.
Why do I feel like the mattress would burst way before 2 hours? Also, not to mention, the dog in the crowd, the dog looks like my neighbor's dog, which I'm not going to say the name for privacy reasons, but anyways, time for the next one. Alright, now this video is how many cows does McDonald's use every day?
McDonald's sells 6.5 million burgers a day, and because each patty is less than a quarter of a pound, one cow can provide almost 3,000 burgers.
Alright guys, now, I don't know this exactly at all, because I'm not like Zach, who teaches this stuff, but I feel like that's false. I don't think cows produce that much meat. Maybe very near that, but I don't think 3,000. I don't know why. I'm gonna Google it at the end of this video. Well, at the end of watching this kind of short, not the video, because I'm probably going to forget. But anyways, let's continue.
This means McDonald's goes through about 2,000 cows every single day. That would be enough to populate almost 6 dairy farms.
And for some reason, I find that also false. If you're talking about, like, every single McDonald's in the world, I'd say yes. But if it's, like, one McDonald's, I don't think so. I'd say like 300 I think McDonald's gets like, if there's one McDonald's, I'd say it gets like 500 customers per day. I don't know this stuff. Don't believe me. I'm gonna Google this at the end of watching the short one.
If you placed them nose to tail, you could make a straight line that would stretch across the Golden Gate Bridge twice. McDonald's...
Yeah, but you can't... Alright, let me Google it real quick. Alright, Zach was right. I'm not gonna Google the rest, but yep, Zach is right. So yeah, I was proven wrong But I just felt like no way. If you're talking about like every single McDonald's in the world, then yes. But if you're talking about just one location, then I'd say like maybe 1,000,000. Anyways, time for the next one. Now this one is interesting, and it's called Can you use a shrimp? Can you use shrimp to clean your teeth? So, I'm gonna be like my science teacher who decides to go over things before we watch the videos talking about our science topic. Because right now in science, we're learning about how rocks are born, specifically weathering and erosions. But anyways, so, let's think. Shrimp are live, but I see those pointy things right there, so there's no way that they can. They probably could, but I feel like they would scrape your mouth up and give you infection. Because don't they get parasites? Because I've encountered videos of shrimp getting parasites, bro. And so don't they touch parasites? So I don't think that'd be a good idea, but they're asking, can you use a shrimp to clean your teeth? Not if it's a good idea to use a shrimp to clean your teeth. But let's see.
Place the tiny shrimp into your mouth as you fill it up with water. And once inside, it would swim around your gums, picking at food scraps with tiny pincers and keeping your mouth clean. But they can grow over 2 inches, so they might scrape up your tongue just by moving around.
Yep, knew it. They're gonna scrape it up if they move around. I just knew that. Like, there's no way. So yeah, I just knew it. They're gonna scrape up your tongue because look at how pointy the pinchers are in the video shown on screen. There's just no way they wouldn't scrape up your tongue. Just no way.
Now, they usually pluck parasites and dead tissue off fish, and because they're from the ocean, they could carry harmful germs on their bodies, which could make you extremely sick.
Alright, we got that answered, yes. Technically, infection makes you sick. I'm pretty sure if you get an infection, you're obviously gonna get sick. It depends, but yeah. So, I was right. So, it's mostly a bad idea to use shrimp to clean your teeth when you could just go to the dentist or brush your teeth every day and floss really good. So yeah. Alright, now this one is a very interesting one that has to do with science. And it's called, how big would 1 drop of all Earth's water be? With the confused emoji, whatever it is. I'm not going to discuss this one because I don't really know.
If you sucked up all the water on Earth and put it into a giant vacuum container before squishing it into 1 water droplet, how big would that droplet be? Well, water covers 70% of Earth's surface, but even though it looks like a lot, it's actually spread pretty thin. So if you stood next to it, it would stretch upwards for hundreds of miles, reaching all the way past the International Space Station. But from space, it'll just look like a small blob on Earth's surface.
Now that's really interesting to think of. It may look like a lot of water on Earth, because we have oceans and all that. I'm pretty sure the largest river is the Nile West River. I forget the name, but I know it has the word Nile in it. Yeah, but anyways, as I was saying, yeah, this is really interesting to think of, because in my opinion, we do have a lot of water on Earth, but it's thin as said in the video, and that 30% is land, if I'm correct, and nature and geography, I don't know. Anyways, moving on. But yeah, that's really interesting to think of, to take all the water out of Earth. Then Earth would be unlivable. Like, a place where you cannot live, because especially in summer, if it's one of the hottest summers, you need water to survive. Alright, now this is also another interesting one to think of. This one is called, how can an octopus fit through a tiny hole? With another confused / question emoji, or whatever. So let's just see this one as well.
As the tentacle reaches through, it starts to pull its entire body through the hole. Inside, its organs shift and slide to fit the opening.
Oh, so its organs shift in its body, bro, and basically makes it smaller. I don't think that it makes it smaller, but okay, I get it. Whatever.
That's because they're made of soft tissues that can squeeze and stretch without being damaged. And aside from the beak, there are no bones holding it back. So, as long as the beak fits, the rest of it will change shape to fit too. In other words, if a coin can make it, so could an octopus.
That's also really cool and interesting to think of. Moving on. Alright, now this one is one that you should not do at home because this is dangerous. I mean, you could, but just for a bit, not like every single day for years, because this is dangerous and actually causes health problems, which is shown in the end. This one is called, What Would Happen If You Spun on Your Head for Years? Alright, let's check it out. Well, let's watch it now, shall we?
He spun on his head. It put massive pressure on his skull, and the friction between the ground and his skin caused blood vessels to break. Since he did this for almost 20 years, it had to heal again and again, which built up scar tissue.
Oh my god, that doesn't look so good. Also, if you're wondering what this bump is doing near my lip, I don't know, I just randomly got it. I think it's a cold sore, but I believe cold sores, you get them on your lips. In my opinion, cold sores are herpes, but whatever.
And eventually, a hard mass started to form. It grew.
Oh my god, that just looks so gross to me.
Into a giant lump, which caused him pain until doctors finally cut it out.
Yeah, now what did we learn from this? Nah, hold on, let me portray a teacher. Alright, teacher be like, now what did we learn from this class? And then the class is like, we learned not to break dance on your head for years. And she said, well, more than that. And then someone says, I don't know. And then she says, should have been paying attention. But what we really learned, don't do that. That's gonna give, I mean, you can, but not every single day for years, because it's gonna give you health problems. Moving on. Alright, now this one, just like the last one, this one is called The Artist Who Painted With His Eyes. Now, you obviously shouldn't do this one either, because it's apparently because it's actually dangerous, and it causes infection in your eyes, and I think it can even take away your vision. So don't try this. So yeah, all I'm saying, do not try this unless you want to lose your vision. Your choice, not mine.
Snorted the paint up his nose, held his breath, and blew air upward. This pushed the paint up through small tubes that connects the nose and the eyes.
I didn't know that they exactly connected like that. Looks really cool.
Until it reached his tear ducts. Then the paint came out of his eyes and
It's as if as if blood's coming out of his eyes, like one of those cold-blooded creatures. I believe they're like a type of lizard, I forget.
dripped straight onto the canvas below. You see, as a child, he learned air and liquid could pass from his nose to his eye, and years later, he turned that trick into art. Eventually, he became a world-famous painter, selling each painting for thousands. But this can cause serious damage to your
Yeah, see, don't try that, cause that gives you infection or likely likely takes away your vision. Also, not to mention, guys, I don't think that with that, the fact that it doesn't look cool enough, I don't think it would sell for thousands. I would say it sells for like $20. I would not say it sells for thousands. It just doesn't make sense for it to sell for that much money. The way he painted, though, was different from other people and all that, which is cool and all, and I like his the creativity for the way he painted, but when it came to what he painted, it wasn't really like cool or interesting. But other than that, the way he painted, it was creative. But I don't think you should have gotten thousands for just using purple or blue paint or whatever
to your eyes, so you probably shouldn't try it.
Yeah, don't try that, guys. That's all I'm gonna say. Just do not try that. Now, we're gonna watch 3 more of these before I end the video right here. We'll do part 3, like, next month. But anyways, this is basically an advertisement for Logan Paul. It's called Why Some Milk is Better Than Others. And it shows a picture of Logan Paul in the intro. But it looks more like Jake Paul, his brother, whatever.
An ungodly amount of milk. Would you get super buff?
Well, I actually know the answer. You would not. It actually fattens you up, and turns out it's what fattens us up when we're babies, and fattens baby cows up. Because we need to be a bit more fatter to survive. Because I'm pretty sure our organs get bigger when we become fatter. I don't know, but I just know for a fact that you need to be fattened up. Anyways.
Because of the protein? Well, milk is actually full of sugar, which will make you fat in large quantities.
Oh my god, bro. That's
and
crazy.
This is why it's given to calves and babies, to literally fatten them up. But if you pass the milk through a collection of special membranes, the smaller molecules, like sugar, slip through and collect on one side. And the larger molecules, like protein, are too big to pass through, so they stay behind in the milk, which makes it super high in protein. And if you add in vitamins, minerals, and your own signature flavorings, you basically end up with a muscle-building super milk. But that would be a lot of work.
Yeah. Plus, I'm pretty sure you would need original milk for that.
So you should just get a Prime Shake instead.
Yeah, this is just an advertisement for Prime. I tried Prime in late 2023. Dang, I missed late 2023. That was a good and bad era for me. I'm not gonna explain why, but yeah, Prime was alright. It's not good anymore. So I just don't think you should. I mean, it's your choice. You get to advertise it on your channel, but I just don't think I'm gonna ever consider buying Prime again, unless I really have to. Moving on. Now, this one is violent and gruesome right here. Not too much, but I mean, this is animal abuse, which is obviously illegal, so I'm gonna have to blur some parts out. Maybe with CapCut, but I'm pretty sure I'm allowed to use it since he got to use it without blurring anything. Besides blurring, like, the throat, but it's called How Fooey Grass or Fowy Grass. I don't know. I'm just gonna call it F Grass. It's called How F Grass is Made, which is now an illegal practice. It involves where you shove, like, oil down a duck's throat, and it either chokes them or tears open their windpipe, which can kill them, I believe. So it's illegal. So for those wanting to try it, do not. It's illegal around here now.
Shove the tube down its throat, then pump it full of food. And they do this 3 times a day, forcing up to a pound of food down its throat each time. Now, this is done to quickly fatten the duck's liver before killing them and cooking the organ. But the tube can choke them until they suffocate, or even rip holes in their food pipe. And since it's way too much food, they struggle to walk, which is why this practice is now illegal in some countries.
Yep, so do not try it. It's illegal. And it's honestly really sad to see people doing that. Even though it's a part of life where you have to kill an animal to get its food, still, why specifically do that? That's one of the times where I've seen animals suffer, besides videos I encountered where people have done horrible things that I'm not going to say on this channel to dogs and animals. I'm just not. Alright, we're going to watch our final one before I end the video off. Part 3. Before I end it, I'd like to say that Part 3 will be released next month. Alright, now this one is about math. It's called Visualizing Pi with Rotating Rods. Alright.
Two rods are fixed together. Then the first rod spins slowly around the center. And as they turn together, the tip of the second rod draws a line in space, spinning pi times faster than the first rod. Now, if pi were a normal fraction, that line would...
Speaking about fractions, I'm learning that in math class right now. I'm gonna have my test on fractions next week, and I just want to get fractions done, because I hate fractions, but I'm doing pretty good. But nobody asked, and I'm gonna accept it. Nobody asked, so let's continue.
Loop around and eventually return to its starting point. But since the digits go on forever without repeating, the line never closes. Instead, each new loop just barely misses the old one, since pi never repeats. And it just keeps twisting into new shapes, never repeating the same trajectory twice.
Yep. So, a couple things I'd like to say before I end the video. Part 3, it'll be released next month in mid-April. Like, around, like, a couple days after my birthday on April 10th. Also, another thing I'd like to say, thank you for watching. The Book 2 video will be coming out on the weekend, hopefully. I've been busy with school. I'm busy on the weekend a bit. So, the full Book 2 gameplay video should be out on Saturday or Sunday. The video where I make playing the new horror games, it will be coming out on the weekend as well, and it's a really interesting horror game studio, and I like it. So yeah. Anyways, that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed the video, then make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. And anyways, I'll see you in the next one, and goodbye!